All right, so what we're going to do today is walk through the application from a perspective in which you would see the information. What this is going to look like is the application specifically. Throughout your portal, you're going to see other things uploaded. This will be things like your copy of your current policy, 5 years loss runs, and any operating or safety documents. Today, I'm going to focus on giving you guys information for the application and what you're going to see. Feel free to play this video alongside as you guys create it. This is the start screen that will come to from website submissions, phone calls, emails, any type of way you've reached out. This is typically how we're going to start the process if you don't have a portal with Granite Insurance already. So here we go. I'm going to use a basic test name, Not 101 test. And then we are going to use our phone number or our email as dual authentication, which allows us to get started. Great. So I'm going to use the email. It's going to pull up a login screen, and I'm going to enter the email that I just entered to log into the account I just created. I'm going to send a text to myself to dual authenticate it. This is what's going to get us into it. And so let me check my cell phone. Okay. And then boom, this is the portal. This is exactly what you're going to see as we walk in. So this is the generic application. So we are going to click fill out and submit. Here you're going to see an array of questions. So basic information about your organization, mailing address, email address, all of this needs to be filled out to the best of your ability and as full as you can. The desired effective date. For the desired effective date that we are seeing here, this is when do you want coverage active? Now, if we are applying on May the 3rd, like it is right now, and you say, well, I need it for May the 6th, it's likely that we're not going to be able to turn things around that quickly. So what we would recommend doing is putting in the effective date about 2 to 3 weeks later. As I mentioned in the welcome video, we typically request 20 business days to work on your entire proposal. So for this example, we'll just have it set on a month from today. And then how many years have you been in business? This would be how many years your haunted attraction has been open. If you're a new venture, this is a space to share a little bit about your experience and why you guys got into the industry. Some basic information about where it is. And then this is a very important question. Please describe all your operations in detail, everything you're seeking coverage for. This will include your midways, which may have axe throwing, escape room, concessions, simulators, live music. Please include as much detail as possible here because it's very helpful to hear lots of detail versus we have a haunted attraction. Okay, well, what does your haunted attraction have? And so this gives us a better insight of your full operations. Do you require insurance coverage year-round? What this question is saying is, do you require coverage on a seasonal basis, which may be from September 1st to November 15th? That would mean that you are only on site of your haunted attraction from those dates. Those of you who have year-round coverage, this is someone who you're on premise year-round or you own the property and have some type of exposure throughout the entire year. If you do own your property or you're there year round, please mark yes here so we can make sure that you have coverage even when you guys are not operating your haunted attraction, because there's still a chance that something could occur during that time. Another question that we get a lot about is, what do you need for total square footage if we're an outdoor attraction? Here you can just put your acreage. There's always a space for you to add a comment. This comment comes directly to me. The estimated gross receipts. This is going to be very, very important. Estimated gross receipts are total for the entire year or the entire policy term. For general admission, you would not put your ticket price. If it's $35, you would not put that. If you guys had $35 tickets and you had 10,000 people, you would put 350,000 here because that is your annual or your whole seasonal exposure. We've got general admission, parking, concessions, and alcoholic beverages. Other maybe something like retail or other operations you guys may have. So we'll put retail in and it'll be 10,000. Great. So that's the information that majority of your attraction is going to be based off of. Participant breakdown visiting your operation. This is going to be how many people. Participants are your patrons, people coming on site to participate in the hunt. Total attendance would be for the entire season or the entire year, and then we're breaking it down by age group. Please keep in mind, these are estimates. They don't need to be to a T exact numbers, but we're looking for generic estimates to see what's making up your attraction. In the general information section, we have a bunch of yes and no questions that you'll go through. These will all need to be answered and are all required to move forward. You will see on something like, do you allow volunteers to physically touch the customers during their skits? If you say yes, it's going to pop up a box that allows you to provide details. This would be a section where you could provide information such as those actors who are facilitating the touch experience go through specific training. This may also be, we only do touch with the shoulders and the arms. And so this is where you can provide some more insight on that information. Next, we've got these exposures. So these are the things that we see most often, and you may not fit perfectly in the box of this description, but let's go into it. Haunted house specifications. This is going to be for indoor haunts or those of you who have haunted houses as your primary exposure. So, do you have a haunted exposure? Yes. And then you will see a whole bunch of questions pop up that are specific to haunted houses. Same thing for hayride, wagon. Whole bunch of questions pop up. Maze, answer all of these questions. And it's vital that you take time during your application to answer these specifically and honestly about your operation. Escape rooms. This is one of the most common midways we see. So this is going to be for any of your escape room exposures. You will see they have annual projected escape room revenue. So above, remember we put 350,000. That was for the admission. If you have an additional revenue of 25,000 from your escape room, please add that there. If you included it above, that's fine. Please just make a note and say 25,000 is also included in the above exposure. Or you can even say the above revenue. Great. So this is all of the information based on your haunts. And so let's say, example, you don't have a walking trail. You would just click no, and there would be no need to answer that. Next, here is where we talked about earlier how Granite Insurance provides workers' compensation, property, volunteer coverage, and lots of other types of insurance. We have to collect information specific to those coverages. For example, workers' compensation. If you're looking for workers' compensation, you would click yes, and then we have to have all of the information in that section. So if you have 150,000 in payroll, and they're all people who work in the haunt, you'll put that there, your federal tax ID number, and then you have your workers' compensation if you've had any claims in the last 5 years. So if you have any workers get hurt, we just like to have that information. Owner's information is also for this. So we would, for the workers' compensation. So we would click add new owners. And so we would put the owner name, percentage owned, 100%. To mark them included or excluded, this is going to be if they receive workers' compensation benefits or not. Typically, if you have healthcare, you would allow that to be primary, and you can choose if you want your payroll to be included in the coverage. If you want it to be included, please make sure you comment with the payroll amount. Next is umbrella and excess. Umbrella/excess coverage is going to be coverage that is in addition to the general liability. General liability coverage is going to have $1 million per occurrence and $2 million general aggregate. This is going to be additional coverage on top of that. So if you said yes, any obligations, no, are you requesting it? Yes, let's say I want an additional 1 million in coverage, which would mean that you are going to have 3 million in the general aggregate and 2 million per occurrence. This allows us to know you want more coverage limits than just the base for the general liability. Auto, let's say, yes, we have an auto. Do employees use their personal? Yes. And then this is going to be information you need to answer in regards to the auto questions. We would need you to go in and add all of the driver information. And so you would simply add in their names. And then we would go from there, and that would save it. So we would need to add each driver in for this information. Vehicles, you will also click add a vehicle. So you would need to put in what year it is, what make it is, all of this information so that we have the information on the vehicle you're looking to insure. Property coverage. This is going to be for props, your building, anything like that that you guys want to make sure we're insuring for the value of the property. So you would click yes, and it's vital that you enter all of this information. Otherwise, we'll have to follow up for it. So you would click location 1, building 1, address, and the city where I live. And the stories, let's say it's a 2-story building and it's fully sprinklered, fully burglar system. The building limit's 350,000. I have 150,000 in props. And then business income limit. Business income limit is going to be for your continuing expenses and lost profit if you are unable to operate due to a property loss. For example, your haunted attraction burns to the ground 2 days before the season starts. This would help supply you guys with the income you missed and also your continuing expenses. Square footage of the building, the year built of the building, and the type of construction. So this is going to be something like frame, masonry, non-combustible, steel. If you've got a pole barn, you can put pole barn. The roofing type, let's say we have a metal roof, HVAC update. So obviously 1998 was 24 years ago, 25 years ago now. And so what we want to do is if you've had any of these updated since that original building, we want to have that here. So we updated our HVAC in 2015, our roof in 2020, 2021, and 2022. There we go. And we'll save that and you see it pops up. Any additional interest, this is going to be for additional insureds. Additional insureds are typically required by contract. For example, if you're a haunted attraction and you operate off of the county fairgrounds, you may have to list the county fairgrounds as an additional insured. If you have those, please click yes, and then make sure that you include their information here. So their name, the city and state, zip code, their address, and then the interest. If it's a landlord, you may put landlord here. If it's a vendor, you may put vendor. Anything along those lines. Application signed, so I would put Devon, Goolsby, owner, and then next. And then here we could add things like copies of advertisements, brochures, descriptive literature, so things you might put on Facebook or in a marketing ad. And so then I'm going to click either finish later, which means, okay, I didn't get a chance to finish it right now, so I'm going to come back, or proceed to submit it. So if you proceed to submit it, it's going to go through the process and show you if it looks good or if you've missed anything. Ready to sign, you say continue. And we sign. So now you'll see your portal. It says, thank you for submitting your information. We will now begin designing your unique insurance program and be back in touch within 7 to 10 business days. If you have any questions, we'll reach out to you. Thanks for letting us make your insurance beautiful for you once again. And then you can, you can put that there. So now we're in your portal. So what I'm going to do is take a quick second. I'm going to go into the side that I see and upload a couple of things to show you what it will look like to have additional requests. Great. So now you've submitted your application. I've reached back out to you via email. And so what we have is a request for more information. Once I've had a chance to review it, any additional questions I might have or the additional information we need is going to all be present here. You will notice that these 3 are new requests. So we've got 5 years of loss runs, copy of current policies, and operating/safety documents if applicable. With this, you are going to see 3 videos below in our YouTube channel that go into each one of these and what they mean. We will need all of this information with the exception of the operating or safety documents, because that is if applicable. But we will need all of this information to move forward. So what you'll do is you'll click upload, and then you can just drop those documents in here. Please go ahead and watch those YouTube videos with any questions, because we really hit home the frequently asked questions on this section. You will also see this is my information here in the right-hand side of your portal. You can reach out to me with any of this information and we can chat. So please go ahead and start your application today. I look forward to working on it, and I can't wait to learn more about your operation. Please let me know if there's any questions, and we'll talk again soon.